Making maps in Trackmania requires a lot of time and trial and error, so I challenged myself to see how it would be like to make one in 1 minute, 10 minutes, and an hour. Starting off with 1 minute. Just to give myself a bit of a head start, I'm gonna start the timer on the first clay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'll start with a just road start booster, get me up to speed. Make some sharp turns. And then a jump into the finish like so. And then I'll add a little bit of scenery. This is the extent of what I can do with this time. And that should be my time up. Let's see what the map plays like. I have no clue if this could be calculated at all, but let's see. Just drift around. You didn't see that? Up here, that's pretty good. Drift around here, that's okay. Oh, that end is not very good. But jump into the finish. Let me just get a slightly better time. Drift around here. Drift around here. And jump into the finish. Honestly, not that bad for having only 1 minute. But let's go on to the next step, 10 minutes. 3, 2, 1. To make a consistent theme across all the maps, I'm going to be making similar ones for each. They're all going to be transitional-ish tech maps. For this one, I'm probably going to go a bit more transitional than the previous one. But I'm not sure exactly how to do that. Let's start off with this jump. See how this works. I think if I make this fully flat, make it like almost an old style track with the big wide platforms. Maybe if I make this like that, that might make the jump slightly cleaner. Yeah, that seems better. Okay, now let's add something here. Let's do this block into checkpoint. Now here, let's see if this block works. I think this could use a block of more space. Let's add that, like that. And let's test it out again. That seems to be working pretty good. Now let's add a block transitioning out of it. And then let's add another open bit just to break up the text section. Now from here, I'm not quite sure what to do. Let's do some more tilted platform blocks. This is what I got. Let's see how it flows. Flows pretty neatly. I think that it's a little awkward, that transition, but it's good enough. And we don't have very much time to fix it, so it's gonna have to do. Let's do this and then maybe add a little jump going out of here, like so. And then you jump up here into the next checkpoint. Let's see if I make this block instead. That might make it a little bit smoother. Yeah, I think if you get a slightly lower jump, that would be better. After this checkpoint, let's do one more downhill style turn, I think. Or you know what, actually, I'll use this block. You can add a bit more space. And then I'll have this block going down. And then let's add a little bump like this, maybe. Into this, let's do this block. That honestly flows decent. I didn't think it would be that good, but Now we just got the ending. For this, I think I'm just going to do a very similar style of turn, like so. Into this block. Actually, let's add a bit more space. And just add a little bit of flare. Let's do a jump like this into, let's use a ring finish. Okay, let's see how the route I have flows. So we have this block, this turn, into this jump. Bit awkward, but pretty good. Jump here, out here, drift around here, over here, around, and I think I can make that actually a little tighter and make it like this. Yeah, I think that flows better. Okay, I don't really have the time to test it, so I'm just gonna quickly work on the scenery. This is an old school style map, so I'm gonna try make some old school style scenery. So I'm not an old school player, so I don't really know exactly what that looks like, but I'm gonna try my best. This is the scenery style I'm going with. I honestly think it looks decent. So after I finish up with this, I need to add a bit more detail in certain places. Add some here, and then some here. Then we'll add the blocks going over top, like so. So let me make it like that. And that seems decent. Now I'm gonna try and just add a bit of detail to each of these parts. I'll use this block. I probably could have chose a slightly different scenery style, but this honestly doesn't look half bad. Let's add a bit, like a few semicircles. I think that will make it look a little cooler. We only got 10 seconds left, so let me quickly do this. And I think that's honestly decent enough. Time's up. Let's look at the track I made. So we got the jump here with that with the cool scenery going above. I honestly think it's not that ugly of scenery. It's not, you know, anything anyone's gonna be amazed by, but it could have been worse. The drift into this jump into the finish. It honestly does feel like a classic style tech track, and that's not even what I was going for, but it honestly works. So I'm pretty happy with it. Now, onto the third and final track, the 1 hour version. Here we are with the 1 hour track. 3, 2, 1. For this track, I'm going to try and use the first 30 minutes to make the route, and then the last 30 minutes to make the scenery. This one I'm going to start off with just a pavement block instead of a tech block. And I'm just going to wing it. And obviously because it's 1 hour, I'm not going to be able to include every single part, but I'll try and include as much as I can. I think this could work if I use this block instead. I think that works good enough. I'm already liking the start a fair amount. Here I'm going to add the first checkpoint. The hardest part about this for me is probably just coming up with different transition ideas, because I'm more a fan of using the vanilla blocks. I don't want to make this too similar to my last one, but I'm going to use a similar block into a downhill. And for this one, I think I actually might try and make it a couple of day length, because it's honestly, I don't think it's going to be that hard to make it long enough. But we'll see as time progresses if that's still going to be the case. I'm pretty happy with this part. Now let's go on to the next section. That honestly could work if the transition is you go up above. Though I don't know how much room I'll have. Actually, let's see if I do it the other way, if that will work. So we'll instead have it going like this, and then we'll add a block here to give more space, and then the turn there. Now let's see if this works. That honestly flows pretty well. Here's another quick little update. I got this part obviously into a black text section with the drift, jump here, though I am still working on this part. So it's obviously not the best. So I think it honestly could work if I add this block like this, just because of how far you jump. Yeah, I think that could work. Let's see if this works. I like that. I think that's pretty good. Now we just need a transition out of this. And then I think it might be time almost for a finish. So it's about 25 seconds, which is honestly less than I was hoping for. But I think I can make it work. I'm not quite sure if this transition works that good, but I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. That honestly does work pretty good. So I don't think that could work. I think I just have to have it going this direction. I think it would be better if I added maybe the checkpoint like that, so it gives you more room. But I mean, that part is very similar to the other part, but I think I can make it different, and then having a drift out of it, I think that could work pretty good. Now I think it's actually time to make the finish. Let's instead do this block, and overall that's 37 seconds. So I think if I add the end part, it should be around 40 to 45 seconds, which should be good. But I just gotta figure out exactly what to do. I think I'm gonna add this block transitioning out of this. And then I don't think it needs a risky finish. And let's actually make it a jump instead. There, into a jump, into the finish. Let's see how that flows. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, now it took a little longer than I wanted for the route, but now I gotta work on the scenery. So let's get to doing that. For the scenery for this track, I'm gonna go for a more natural kind of feel with like big pillars. Actually, I think I'm gonna go for something a bit more abstract. I'm gonna try and do something like this, where it's like arms holding up the track. And then I'll do this on all the core parts of the map. And then let's add another one of these right here. And that looks pretty good. And then I'll add another pillar right here would work. Okay, I got my final pillar down and I still have 20 or so minutes. So let's see what sections I could add to. Actually, we'll see what color would work good with this track. I honestly think a simple dark gray could work, but I don't like that a lot. Maybe purple. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with red, because it's a pretty contrasting color and it looks pretty good. Actually, before that, I'm gonna add one more thing, and this one's gonna be holding up this part of the track. It also might look better if I have it going like through the block like this, so it doesn't just look like it's holding it up, it's also like just like a standing structure on its own. And I'm also just gonna mess around with some ambiances. I think old school looks pretty good, and that's what I'll go with. But I think I should also add some fog, and maybe change the sky color, because it is a little bright on the eyes. Blue fog would work good. I think a good way to actually make this is to connect all these blocks around. So if I do something like this maybe, and then have it connect to this pillar, having a pillar coming off of here, and I think that looks decent enough, that pillar. And I got that pillar down, so let me just connect all these up like this. It is a bit empty over here, but this is probably the part of the track you see the least, which means it's probably the one you need the least scenery on. And now there's a full circle going all the way around the track. I'm gonna add a little bit of stuff coming down from it, almost like the stalactites, just to give this thing a little more depth. Now we got the far scenery done, so like here I'm gonna add a little thing going up like that, and I think that looks pretty good. So I want it to be like that, Yeah, I think something like this could work. I think this looks good enough. And then we'll add another one right here, like that. And then what other part's lacking? Maybe here, like that. Here could use a bit more scenery. Could also would be a good place to put the signs. I don't have any custom signs right now, so I'll just use the basic red ones, like that. And I think like that. And then we'll have one pointing this way. I'm adding a bit more here, and because we're almost out of time, I gotta hurry it up and just quickly add as much as I can. Need a little something more at the finish. I could make it look like it's being held up by the blocks, and we'll add it going diagonally like this, and then going up to a pillar like that, and then we'll do it the same on the other side. See if there's any other places that could add scenery, like maybe here between the blocks. I'm gonna add another one of these structures quickly right here, connected to the ground, and I only got 30 seconds left, so I'm just gonna quick do any final touches I can do. And that looks like it's about how much time I got left, and the time is up. I do wish I could have added a bit of detail, but I didn't realize how long it would take to make all the structures. But this is the final result. Yeah, you got this drift around here into here and up here, around, jump down here, and finish it off with a jump onto this platform and into the finish. Overall, I'm pretty proud of that track. I mean, it took me only an hour to make it, whereas most tracks I would be spending multiple hours, multiple days making it. So I'm pretty proud of the outcome. By the way, thank you for 200 subscribers. I really appreciate it. And if you're not one of them, what are you doing? Subscribe, or else you're gonna miss cool content like this in the future. I hope you learned something new today, and I'll see you next time.